computer, I opened up system preferences to look at my hardware. And according to system preferences, I have 8 processing cores. The reason why the baseline Air has 1 less core is clearly because of binning. Maybe the M1 processors actually have, or the baseline ones actually have 8 cores that are all fully functional, but they only function at a lower voltage than the other cores do, or than the higher bin chips.
I'm honestly not sure, because
I don't know either.
They're all just black boxes.
Let's see what's in the box! Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
Apple, please bless us with the knowledge.
Definitely Apple Silicon. Hold on.
AMD, please give us the secrets, your proprietary secrets to your product.
Yeah, you know what?
There was, like, NVIDIA saying, oh, we're going to make it so that our new GPUs and processors don't work if you try to mine Ethereum, but they'll work if you try to mine anything else.
The only people that they would end up harming would be gamers, because theoretically, most gamers probably aren't going to, or most people, if you're a miner, you're going to buy the card anyway because it's a powerful card, and then mine something that's not Ethereum. And if you're a gamer that says, okay, well, I have this system sitting in the corner and it's winter and it's cold and I already have a space heater, so instead of having my space heater going, I'm just going to have my computer going. Well, you could theoretically mine Bitcoin and not lose any money, or mine Ethereum and not lose any money. The silicon shortage is due predominantly to COVID and companies not expecting the incredible demand for processors that they've had so far.
GM and other car makers are scrambling for chips as it competes for supply with consumer electronics companies. Chip orders were canceled when the health crisis last year forced auto plants to shut down for 2 months.
So apparently with the Zen 3 EPYC CPUs that are coming out, they have some sort of a hardware level safeguard against reverse shell or emulator escapes or something. So in other words, if the host operating system for virtual machines got infected with some sort of a virus, usually that means all of the virtual machines get infected, or vulnerable, right? The EPYC CPUs have some sort of a hardware thing now that prevents the emulated systems from being infected.
It was obvious! He's the red spy! Watch, he'll turn red any second now. Any second now. See? Red!
In one press conference Intel did, 2 months ago, they said this really bogus thing.
The impact of COVID-19 has been immense. Here you can see we have 2 systems. The first is powered by Intel vPro with technology invented by Intel.
We've only got 2 of the blinky boxes left to go.
Blinky boxes.
Just hack.
The second system is a non-Intel system without the Intel security advantages. Both systems are open to the same web page. As we scroll down the page, there's an advertisement that's hiding a control flow attack. Let's click on it to see what happens on each system. Now in this demo, we've written the code so that you can see the attack. But in the real world, this sort of attack is invisible.
Assuming it's not complete BS and there actually is a real hardware way that they're doing it. Or the way that we've done computer chips forever has been, x86 architecture is, a master architecture that you can do anything with. But the problem is it's really energy intensive to do so.
Didn't Samsung start removing chargers from their phones?
Yeah, they did. And what was funny about that is even after they had a whole multiple ad campaigns that were running that were making fun of the fact that, Apple's phones don't come with a charger. What a pity.
And there are also over 2 billion Apple Power adapters out in the world. So we are removing these items from the iPhone box.
Ironic.
Apple's facing a lawsuit in Brazil over that.
They said they were gonna settle, right? Last I checked.
I did
Because
not
the
hear how
money
it
that's
resolves.
they're being
Yeah,
being
it's
sued
like
for is
it's
a
like
pittance
$2
to
million.
them.
Yeah, it's like less than a bonus salary.
They'll
for
make it
some of
back
the
in
higher
like a
ups.
couple hours. Like,
No, they'll make it back in like a couple minutes. Serious. We're talking about $1 trillion company. Actually, let's look this up.
We're in the money. We're in the money.
How do you find the original article whenever you look it up?
just give me a topic. We'll go through it right now.
The Windows Exchange hack, 2021.
All right,
Yeah,
ransomware is
it
already
was
piling
this
on
year.
hacked Exchange servers. So this is from this is from Dan Gooden, Ars Technica. He's usually like the first line of like stuff. All right, so if you scroll down, so I'm on the Ars Technica article right now, and then if you scroll down just a little further, there's a thing which says, "Oh look, Black Kingdom." So there's that and it's always usually like the first link in the thing or the second or third, and then it's like Black Kingdom was spotted by the security firm Speartip, and then Marcus Hutchins, famous name for those who don't know him. He was responsible for buying the domain name that was responsible for WannaCry and canceling WannaCry. The thing is, though, it's becoming so much more trendy now to like secure expired domain names, because this happened with there was a WeLeak Info. And it was reported mostly by people who have found it on the internet. So obviously, because Firefox's password manager had already caught this. I don't use Firefox as a password manager, but it does have this sort of checkup feature. The fact that it picked up on it means it is now widely picked up by all the other ones, because this stuff is shared.
Nowadays, Chrome has that feature and Safari has that feature. Like,
right,
if you're using a mainline web
Mozilla
browser,
was
it has
not
that
the first
feature.
to do this either. I believe 1Password, at least in my memory, was the first to do it. I could be wrong.
Yeah, actually, Chrome, like if you look at how Chrome actually checks like your whether or not your password has been exposed, it cross-references your passwords with 1Pass.
Oh, interesting.
Or
Okay.
with 1Password.
Yeah, I remember 1Password being one of the first.
Yeah,
to...
and so
All
it's
right,
using
here's my
their
opinion.
service.
If you are to pick a proprietary password manager, please pick 1Password. We do not live in that world. Don't pick 1Password unless you really, really, really need its extra features. I think it's a great product. I think they do a significantly better job than all the other people.
Why 1Password and not why 1Password and not like KeyPass
I
or
said
Bitwarden?
proprietary password manager. 1Password is the best one that is out there, because my current gripe with LastPass is if you go to their portal and you try to log in, LastPass will actually have Google Analytics and various other analytics built into the portal where you try to edit your passwords. And the same is true if you have an Android device. I did test this on an friend's Android device, and there's a program on Android called NetGuard, and you can use this to monitor the outgoing network queries of apps on your phone. And NetGuard basically showed that LastPass tries to phone home to Bugsnag in Google Analytics and Google Firebase. And LastPass also, they're not the only ones who do this. I'll throw under the bus RoboForm and Dashlane and any of those other ones. Like, they all have those and then heck, we'll throw Google's password manager under the bus too, because they do the same thing. Like, they're not immune to this. But at least Google's is first party, right? That's the difference here. At least when Google does it, it is their own stuff, right? At least it is them and not somebody else.
I've mentioned this before, and you said that this thing already exists, and I said, what if there's a way that you can observe people and you can collect information about them, but in such a way that it is impossible to identify the individual that like it's impossible to fingerprint that individual and backtrace it to them. And you said Google already has a way of doing that, right?
They named it something awful so people can't talk about it. It's something of cohorts. It's basically another way for Google to gain an even further like chokehold on the ad market. And all right, here we go. The actual name of it is the Federated Learning of Cohorts.
I understand the rationale of eliminating individual level tracking in favor of cohorts and the potential privacy benefits of user data in Chrome at the device level. But this is still eliminating competitors' access to user data at a time when you already control 60% of the browser market. I have real concerns that Phlox will incentivize more first-party data collection, which will not actually benefit user privacy. Instead of spreading it amongst a lot of different companies, it'll all be with you.
Okay, so it's using an machine learning. So essentially, what you're doing,
whatever that it's for literal proprietary black box.
So federated learning of cohorts is Google's thing. But if there was a Wikipedia article for federated learning, just the idea of federated learning in general, and it says federated learning is a machine learning technique that trains an algorithm across multiple decentralized edge devices or servers, holding local data samples without exchanging them. In other words, there's some kind of a master system that they have, and they give you a little piece of the algorithm and say, solve this puzzle, and you solve that puzzle, and that gives them information that you then send away. When I say analyzing data in such a way that it can't be tracked back to you, I don't mean in the sense that like Apple says. They said that you won't be put in a cohort that has less than 5,000 other people in it. But the thing is if you could get a data set down to 500 people, and that's Apple saying that. So Google might go even smaller. Google might have cohorts down to, like a couple dozen people.
Welcome to the Salty Spittoon. How tough are you?
Federated learning. This is a new approach to machine learning developed by Google, is one example.
Yes, so?
It allows Google's AI products to work better for you.
Right this way. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Well, they know who you are simply because your cohort is so damn small that it's basically like a name tag.
User-centered design principles have dominated the world of computing for many decades. But what if we looked at things a little differently? What if the ledger could be given a volition or purpose, rather than simply acting as an historical reference? What if we focused on creating a richer ledger by introducing more sources of information? What if we thought of ourselves not as the owners of this information, but as custodians, transient carriers, or caretakers?